Hey, hey, hey. We're live. How we doing? What's the situation here? Well, we got, say, 4 minutes until CD Projekt Red go live on Twitch. We got 0 minutes till I go live on my own stream and start playing back the audio. Yeah, we're going to be checking this out. Let's go ahead and get this pulled up. Let's go ahead and also hide Twitch chat because I have enough diseases in my life and I don't need to contract anything secondhand through the internet. So, I might just go full screen here. I think that's what we're going to do. There we go. Alright. So we're just going to hang back and relax. We got T-minus 4 minutes or so. I'm going to go ahead and get this pulled up. And we'll see what's going on. I don't expect to be hanging around for too long because I do have shit to do today. But I said I'd be here, and I'm here. I think it was this that I used? Yeah, and then window capture. Okay. Actually, why don't I just copy, delete, and then... Well, why didn't I just fucking do that in the first place? Okay. So we're here. And, we'll see what the sit rep is, you know? A lot of people... You know what's funny is, one of these... I don't remember the last time they had one of these streams. It's probably like a year now, right? For, Edge Runners. I don't know if they go live and then do like a 5-minute waiting period as well. We might be here for 10 minutes. In which case, I will aptly bookmark the chapters appropriately for rewatches. But yeah. This is a big one. This will determine whenever I start back up on a Cyberpunk series. Because they could, I mean, they're not going to, right? Because I can look right, if I just pull up the SteamDB info on Cyberpunk, I can tell right now whether or not they've prepped anything for dropping today, and they haven't. So it probably will, if I have to guess, probably a couple weeks from now. If they really want to put the full hog on the table, they'll do it next week. But I don't want them to rush it. So if it's, let's say a couple weeks, right? Maybe even 1 week before. This could just be them saying, yeah, you're not getting it now, motherfuckers, but hey, you know, we don't want to leave you with nothing. Hey, don't be playing Starfield. Hey, don't Baldur's Gate 3? What the fuck? So that might be what they're after. I guess we'll find out in, what, like 10 seconds? How far along are we on the clock here? 5 seconds. No way they're going live on the dot, right? Not like me. I wasn't that late. It was like 30 seconds. I've seen YouTube streams. These motherfuckers lead you on for 5-10 minutes. Not me. I ain't about that life. We have an advertisement for... Oh shit. Say it ain't so. I figured this would happen. Okay. So I don't really know what I can say that I haven't already. Also, that dude looks like Marshall Mathers. What the fuck? I don't really know what more I can say that I haven't said already. in terms of the release of this game, or the release of this patch and the expansion, what I'm expecting. Also, is my stream okay? Yeah, I got like a 5-second delay on the stream. I don't really want to run through the hoops again. At the same time, there's a 13-minute countdown, and I'm forced to face the fact that I'm sitting here doing nothing as of now. So I guess I can... I don't want to spoil the game. I don't want to spoil, like, the happenings of the expansion. I've done that before. I just don't feel good doing it. But I guess my primary... I guess my biggest want, not necessarily even from the expansion, but from the patch, which I know that the game's not going to get, is a story rewrite of the main campaign, right? Not even necessarily a rewrite, but like a reprioritization of the endings, because they're far too linear as it is. Like, you have the star and the sun and everything. You want to know what the most frustrating thing is? Wanting to make a decision in a role-playing game, and then having the game basically tell you you can't make that decision, right? Like, you see a lot in, especially more recent Bethesda games, Fallout 4. Oh, there's this NPC I really don't like. Well, you can't kill him because he's an essential NPC. You'll break the quests if you decide to kill this guy, even though we managed to somehow work around that 10, 20 years prior. And likewise, it extends to story as well. If you take away any sort of nuance and like the thoughts that may be going through the player's head, and you just force the narrative, it can leave a sour taste in people's mouth. And it left a sour taste in my mouth, especially in the Sun ending. Whenever, you know, you're in the elevator, you're dying, oh shit, brain bleed, and you're essentially told, you know, Johnny, right before you're kind of forced to make the big decision, Johnny's like, okay, listen, let me take over, we're gonna do things my way, you don't have to risk any of your friends or anything, it's just gonna be me. And you're immediately inclined to do that decision, especially if you've done the rogue path. I think that's how you unlock it, because it kind of brings that character full circle with how you're introduced to him on his initial raid with Arasaka. So you pick that decision because you're like, oh hell yeah, his story's gonna come full circle, he'll finally get revenge on Arasaka, and then after that I can have my happy ending epilogue or whatever, because, you know, I made friends with the nomads. Why can't I, after this, assuming my character survives, we'll just roll them off into the sunset, happily ever after. But you can't do that. Because once you do that ending, it locks you in. Because I guess the writers didn't account for it or something. It locks you into essentially striving for glory, which I understand thematically what they're going for with that epilogue, but the means of getting there is just fucked, right? Like, striving for glory and, like, you know, fuck the nomads and everything, that doesn't necessarily stem from, hey, I'm gonna let this guy who really wants to get back at art, I'm gonna let him do it because I don't want to risk the lives of all the people I've come to love, you know? Which does happen if you do the nomad path. So, if you do that ending with the mindset, you know, I'm gonna get my nomad ending where we leave, everything's gonna be alright, but I want Johnny's quest to play out. You know, I want his story to come full circle, and then likewise the same thing can happen to my character. It doesn't account for that. There is zero nuance. It comes at it from the perspective that, you know, you're playing as a street kid V, and you've locked yourself into this path knowing full well what you're gonna do. That's just not the case. So my hope ultimately, either from this patch or from the expansion, is that they give all the endings a pass-over and give you more options. Even if you get the same, you get the same epilogues, you get the same endings, let there be more nuance than just, oh, you want to escape Night City with the nomads, you have to let them all die. Or you want to become Legend of Night City, you have to let Johnny take over your body, even if you don't trust him. It's far too linear as it is. So yeah, 8 minutes. What else? This isn't necessarily pertaining to the expansion or anything, but more so my personal wants with the series that I've done is I want more visual, not visual custom. Well, yeah, visual customization, but I want more visual feedback from the cyberware. Like they said, more. Is this a new song? No. I don't think it is. I haven't heard this song. It could be, but they did just get done playing like V's theme song. But yeah, they were talking about more cyberware, feeling cyberware and etc. And I thought, they're probably going to rework the cyberware and everything. I don't remember ever hearing this song. Maybe this is new. My extent of the game's soundtrack basically boils down to what I've had to listen to over and over in Premiere. If I haven't played the quest yet that's associated with this, I'm not going to recognize it. If I've had to seek out, like, oh, what song plays during this quest, and when does it trigger, then I'm going to remember exactly where this song plays. This does kind of sound like the 6th Street song. What was that one called? I have it here somewhere. Unless I got rid of it in my playlist. I did, actually. Damn. I think it's actually his new music. Twitch chat? Very cool. I feel like this is definitely something that would have been on the OST. If it was in the base game. Okay. So yeah, the cyberware I want. If V gets cyber legs, well, where are those? If I get a Sandevistan like exoskeleton, where's that? It's just in the final climactic confrontation against Adam Smasher, who you somehow defeat. No way. Oh shit, they finished Carrie's song. No shit. Oh, that's good. It's probably a remix, actually. Although this is new, this isn't the same, like, recording that was used in the boat song. I would have thought lyrics would have gone here, though. It probably is one of the, like, fan songs that were submitted. Where they kind of finished the, What am I saying? This song is this song's like giving me white noise. I'm getting brain blocked here. Yeah, they said there wouldn't be any new Samurai songs. They didn't say there wouldn't be new Carrie Eurodyne songs. That could be interesting. But yeah, I just want the ability to make V look more like a badass, like cyberware infused mercenary. That's all. Like at the very least, let me get the Sandevistan skeleton. Yo, my man asking the real questions. What the fuck? Where? Sex. Cyberpunk 2077 sex. Where? But yeah, like, not even necessarily as a consequence of picking cyberware, but just in the character creator, you know? Just a new option. Next to tattoos and scars and whatnot, you know? Tried to learn this song on guitar, but gave up. This is making me want to go back to learning. Sure, it wouldn't be that hard, right? Because they have the fingering in the game. I'm sure someone probably has charted it by now. They charted all the samurai songs before the game even came out, and they were pretty spot on. Some of the fingering was off. Oh, 2 minutes. What is that emote? Okay. Not bad. Oh, we've heard this one. Sounds like it's a mixture of new and old songs. Yeah, let's you know what I'm actually most interested in is the DLSS 3.5 integration, which will make ray tracing like a lot easier to run on this game. I'm looking forward to playing the patch, just see how it runs on my current build. I'm planning on upgrading it, but as of right now, it needs it. It's time to get the real deal on fentanyl. At least make it rhyme, you know? Like, I'm gonna tell you all about fentanyl, you know? Like, that's better. It's catchy. This is Badlanders, and you know what really sucks is I used this song, in episode 1. So I might not be able to use it during the Arasaka shootout at the end, assuming I picked the Nomad path. We'll have to see what Phantom Liberty has in store. I really hope they change the ending from the leaks. That's all I'll say. Because otherwise I'm not picking that ending. Even if B lives. Because it would just be too out of character with what I've done. We're in, boys. New trailer first? Or existing trailer first? Yeah.
Okay.
I should have expected that.
Let's go.
Shame on me.
My favorite merc. Welcome to
Mr. Hands looks different. He has a beard now. Like a long beard.
Coordinates provided. You know what to do.
I assume they probably changed his appearance since they'll actually be showing his face.
Assault rifles, tactical gear.
Hands, thinking of buying some iron.
The logical choice.
Damn. Green view.
Yeah, I'll stand by what I said a couple days ago.
Home stretch.
I wish they would have used some new music in this trailer instead of Rebel Path. I mean, it's recognizable,
Not a
right?
bad idea.
It's iconic. They used it for a reason.
Okay.
It's good.
I'm ready. Get this show on the road.
I like how they mixed it. They got some like nice risers in there. That looks crazy, throwing dead bodies with like gorilla hands. It looks like Mantis Blades do look different, like depending on which ones you have.
Job done.
Those were yellow.
Premium work, V. I'm closing the gig.
I know that's the
and
case
sending you
in-game
a little
already,
bonus.
but there's not really
Something
enough
that will
variety.
spirit you home safely. Someone dispatched a hunter. Good luck.
Hunter? This sounds like new music.
Fire till she drops!
Got a net runner cinch here! Need backup right
I've never heard this song before.
All nearby
The
units.
gun, too.
We got a situation in Watson. Roger, dispatch. We're on our way.
Oh, this music's so good, man.
Fuck's sake.
This game is one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in a game.
Let me put it this way.
It fits
No
so
gun, no
well.
fun.
And the usage of like motifs and whatnot, and the reincorporation of them during certain moments, it's just so expertly done.
Fuck. That was close.
Bravo, V. I only hope this won't mark the end of our collaboration. You will hear from me soon. This I guarantee you.
Alright, hopefully we'll be hearing from him in the next like 10 seconds because the stream started.
Hello everyone, I'm Amelia, I'm a senior community manager, and welcome to another episode of the Red Streams about Phantom Liberty and Update 2.0. Today with me I have some special guests, and of course my co-host Alicja Kozera. Hey guys! We have Kacper Niepokulczycki, lead environment artist.
Thank you for
and Gabe Amatangelo, game director.
Hi, everyone.
Are you guys excited?
Yeah.
Super
yeah.
excited.
Give us the cues. What do we need to say?
Yeah, 1 second.
What's next?
So a few days ago, we showed you guys a new ways to play trailer for Cyberpunk 2077. And today in the stream, we're going to take a deep dive in some of the features that have been showcased in the trailer. So we're going to go through the reworked perks and the new relics.
Will this be the
from Phantom
B-roll
Liberty.
footage?
We'll also show you a
That's
little
what
bit
I'm
of Dogtown and some
interested
characters
in.
that you're going to meet in Phantom Liberty. We will show you the revamped police system in action, and also some of our brand new vehicle combat and car chases, together with new missions that are vehicle gigs. So as you can see, we have a lot to go through today. That means that we're going to be jumping from one part of the game to another, and the gameplay that you're going to see is pre-recorded. But we are here live with you, so if you have any questions for us, feel free to drop them in the chat. And we'll try to answer some of them. We'll also have some questions that we already gathered from our official forums and Discord.
Did they both
So
dye
we
their
will
hair red
finish
on
the
purpose?
Stream with short Q&A. So let's jump in.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
we
Let's
ready?
do it.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think we will start with the Phantom Liberty beginning, if we can. So yeah, one of the questions that we often see on our socials is when we start the Phantom Liberty. You know, the level, the story was, you know, in the.
I'm gonna
beginning,
be
so.
dissecting that.
So,
What book was that?
You can, basically it's after the Brigitte, or first off, no spoilers on Phantom Liberty, but it's very difficult to answer that question without spoiling a little bit of the base game. But the Voodoo Boys Brigitte portion of the storyline, after you finish
Look at that fucking
is when
stadium. That
this
thing's
quest essentially
huge now.
unlocks. Now, as a player coming to the game for the first time, or even when
Like,
you're
you can
coming
still
back,
see,
if you want to
like, kind of the framework of what was there in the base game, but
to that moment and immediately jump
it looks
into the
completely
Phantom
different.
Liberty
Holy
action.
shit.
And of course, if you have characters that are already
Still got that Cyberpunk pop in, though.
Immediately, Songbird's going to reach out to you when you get into the game. And then if you happen to have saves that are before finishing that portion of it, then there will be in your journal telling you what you need to do to get to that point. But we have it integrated into the game such that you can be doing the Dogtown experience, that storyline, and the base game storyline and back and forth because it's all somewhat related.
Okay, and what if someone already finished the game?
It's basically a whole
So
new
if you finish the game,
quest
obviously your
line,
save
like
will be before
Takamura,
that
Pan Am.
point of no return point, and then yes, Songbird will hit you up and say, I got something for you, and then you can go from there.
Right, we already received a call from Xiaomi. She told us to go to the Dogtown gates. Can we actually maybe tell a bit more about Songbird herself? Who is she? What she's doing there?
Sure. So she's on a plane right now with President Rosalind Myers.
That's new.
Dogtown is a district that there was the war there. That there was the front, and after the war,
Never seen
one
a
of the
red
colonels took
relic
control
glitch
of it
for.
and had a falling out with the new United
Oh, is that
States,
Songbird happening?
Kurt. And Kurt has hijacked basically control of the plane. This is what Songbird's telling you, and needs your help. There's no way that it can communicate with anyone except to you through the relic. So you are the sort of lifeline, their last resort to try to help intercept what's going to go on there. And you decide whether or not you want to answer the call. And of course, she says, like, listen, I'm connecting to you through the relic. I know about the bomb ticking your head, and I'm a badass netrunner. I can solve this for you as long as you can solve this for me. And that is the deal. And you got to decide whether or not you want to jump in.
So this is V's motivation, right?
This is V's motivation at the beginning, yes.
And we trust her.
That's for players to find out.
All
That's the
right.
best
Do
thing
you
they could
trust
possibly do
You can't ask me such
for an
things.
expansion in a game with a ticking time bomb or a plot
You guys
line.
have to play it and figure out for yourself.
You need to
Very
dangle the carrot. Otherwise, what's the
Alright,
point?
I know she's also giving us the new relic tree. Can we maybe talk about the new relic?
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but right here, this is quite a scene. She's showing you how badass she is. Let's wait a beat, because I'm not sure, has this been revealed yet? This hasn't been seen yet, right? This is the first time it's being seen. Yeah.
Okay, so this
like,
isn't the B-roll
If it
footage,
says
though.
about me, I wouldn't trust her.
So she's suppressing because having both her and Johnny on the relic at the same time is causing an issue with like seizures with you there. And so she's like, listen, I'm going to suppress him for now, but it's for everyone's safety. He's still there, as I think you can see in some of the dialogue there. What was your question? I'm sorry, I went on that tangent because I wanted to highlight that. So she's the real deal. She's the real deal.
Well, she's a netrunner for the president, right? So she needs to be a badass,
Top
right?
netrunner for the new United States.
Twitch needs to stop advertising this
But yeah,
dog shit
coming
ass
back
show.
to the relic, right? We got a relic from her. Maybe we want to actually
We
let
didn't get-
players to get to that point watching this gameplay.
Yeah, they're going to see that here in a moment. So basically, in addition to communicating through the relic and being able to suppress Johnny there, she is able to basically enhance it, and says, listen, I'm going to unlock some potential of this relic in your head, and this is going to unlock the skill tree, which I guess they're going to see in a moment there. And is this when I talk about...
So she gives V
what the skill tree
superpowers.
does?
That actually really helps
Okay,
with
okay,
like
sorry.
the ending of the game.
That's
I
where
guess
you come
Johnny
in,
is
V.
not happy to be...
Superpowers that no one else can have because
I mean,
V
I
has the
wouldn't.
relic.
You'll find out how Johnny feels a little bit later in the story.
That's ideal.
I'm not so sure. You'll need to get her out of the plane before anyone else does.
Nothing's for free, Songbird. We should talk biz.
Just got a taste of my abilities, I believe. There's more. I can cure you. Once and for all.
Can't know how much I'd really love to believe you, but...
I know, V. You've hit a dead end. Nowhere to turn. Been there. Believe me. Consider this, an advance. Your relic's crowded with clusters of corrupted data.
Okay, now...
I'm done with that.
Now we can jump to the relics. So yeah, we got the new relic tree.
There it is.
How does it work?
So the relic tree essentially enhances various different cyberware. That's kind of the theme of it. And the way that you're able to, she helps you unlock some of it, this skill tree opens up, but the way you're able to unlock more potential of it, basically get the points that you can spend for more stuff, is by finding Militech data terminals throughout Dogtown. Because again, Dogtown is the former combat zone where the battle between Arasaka and Militech in the United States. So there's some leftover data terminals there that help you unlock more and more of this. And the theme, there's a bunch of different type of abilities to unlock for different cyberware. I'm sorry, keep going? Okay. One, for example, is basically being able to not only enhance your own cyberware, but find vulnerabilities in other people's cyberware. So as your enemies are out there, if you get headshots, if you get precise headshots, you get damage bonuses, whatnot. We've unlocked basically.
This actually really helps in my series.
Different locations where people
given like a story reason to become overpowered.
So it kind of gives you another fun kind of like skill shot spot to hit. And if you hit that and you do enough damage to it, it then has sort of like an EMP explosion. So it's almost like AoE headshots. Whereas headshots are like single target damage. This is kind of an AoE thing. So it adds a new tactical element. We've got things where like the gorilla arms that you have, you can really enhance it. And as you're doing damage with the gorilla arms, you can charge it up to then do, and again, I apologize, throughout this stream,
maybe there isn't any new cyberware.
The skill
like arms.
Names wrong, because we changed it so many times, so I don't remember the one. But I remember the
because these are all upgrades
so
for like the base game ones.
And then they go flying. I think we saw some of that in the trailer. With the Manus Blades, you can charge it up and get like a really long range, like 30-meter plus leap out of it, which is really good. And for the overall gameplay kit of being able to kind of close gaps to snipers you see in the distance, stuff like that.
This shit's fresh.
With the
I like
monowire, you'll be able to put, as a netrunner, hacks through the monowire onto the enemies. And then as you further enhance it, you can then spread the hacks from the enemy that you put it to others with the monowire.
Look at that.
The
monowire actually being used for
this tree as well,
what it was initially
to,
meant
like,
for.
Fully kind of just like vanish, like poof, out of combat. If you want to reset kind of the stealth gameplay loop, if you mess up, or if you want to jump in and get revealed tactically for a reason and then pop out, you can enhance it that way. It goes on and on and on.
Okay.
So we upload the gameplay separately
some of those new perks, but how you actually leveled this new tree.
That's what I was saying. It was the data terminals
also like that
throughout
Blade
Dogtown,
Runner
was
perk
exploration.
name.
Okay,
so as you can find them throughout your exploration of Dogtown.
So if you level up normally, you will not get the point.
Right, yeah, this is not through the leveling up, this is through exploration to get those points. Okay. Leveling up, of course, still gives you the perk points, which we'll talk about in a little bit, obviously.
I think we can clear this because I'm not sure if it was coming through.
Yeah.
You have to explore Dogtown to find those. They're not marked, they're not shown. You have to find them.
It's exploration.
Exactly.
You'll hear audio cues. There'll be hints as you're getting close, that kind of stuff. But we really had fun with placing them in places that are fun too.
That's correct.
So Vault 2 and whatnot.
Okay, and if we start as the Phantom Liberty standalone, right? How many points do we get at the beginning, or we just start with 0?
So if you do the Phantom Liberty standalone, you get your first set of points from her that allows you to pick sort of one of the foundation ones.
All right.
And then as you explore, you get one more point for each of the data terminals you have. And I can't remember the exact number of points overall, but obviously if you find them all, you can fill up the tree.
All right. Right, so now we can actually jump into the juicy gameplay details. I know you've been dying to tell us a bit more about
They're going full ham on this, man. I like this.
We are preparing.
Don't give a fuck. It's coming out. We'll show you everything.
Ready? All right. So we prepared the build, the solo build.
This isn't a pre-crafted demo, unlike at the last Gamescom.
And yeah, I also wanted to ask about the perks reset and the attribute reset. Can we maybe share some information about that before we jump to the
Sure.
gameplay?
So everyone is going to be able to, with your save files, your characters, you'll be able to reset your attributes once. And we're doing this obviously because we did a big revamp of the system. And your relic, or I'm sorry, not your relic, but your perk points, you'll be able to respend, but you'll also be able to do it on the fly. Not while you're in combat, but whenever you can refund and readjust stuff and find the way you want to play. So that answers the question, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So we ready with the gameplay? Let's go. So yeah, like I mentioned,
skipping
we
ahead
prepared
now.
a short showcase.
Dude, I'm gonna be pausing so much on these like vistas.
So yeah, the floor is yours. I know this is your favorite favorite way to play.
You're carrying the whole show right now.
Oh, so what? Okay, yeah, we're going to the body tree. So, and I can't quite see which ones we're looking at, but the body tree, basically, we have a bunch of different things, that are in that theme. Because overall, the way we approached it is that we wanted to say, okay, if we're in this like dark future, there's cyberware, what are the different fantasies, the different gameplay loops, the different ways you want to experience the world, and which ones are missing, and which ones do we need to add? And one that we felt that wasn't fully fleshed out, or you felt viscerally, if you will, is this like sort of like Terminator, type cyberware where you're just in there in the thick of it. So one of the things on the tree is you can get it to where you're the heavy machine guns. If you remember the heavy machine guns of the base game are like brrr, whatever. Now if you got the strength, you can really keep it steady and and just melt people with it. The other thing is that the overall theme of this is to be in the midst of the action. So the more you're pushing your fight, there's this adrenaline thing, and the adrenaline meter goes up.
You get multiple
sort of this
hand
extra
cyberware?
level of health or whatever. And if you can do the overhand slam, Quake, I think is what we call it now. Bam! And the more people you catch in it, the more health that comes back. And so it's all about being in the thick of it and in the midst of the crossfire, but as long as you keep pressing that attack, you can survive. And there's various different ways to mitigate stuff. And then, of course, if there's a sniper in the distance, you can
Holy
pick up a
shit.
body
This is
and
a
throw it
whole,
at them. So we give the
like,
kit
Pacifica
a full
rework.
kit to deal with all the different dynamics in a different way, right? To really just
This looks
feel
proper.
different. And crap, there was one there that I just, so what kind of pairs pretty well with the body tree, which I think they showed there a little bit, is on one of the sides of the tech tree, you can unlock the ability to go even higher with your cyberware. So there's a cyberware limit, and then in the tech tree, if you get the right perks, you can kind of push past that limit. However, if you push past that limit, you're at risk of getting into what we call, it's the Edge Runner perk, by the way, is the name of one of them, of course, right? But you can get into a Fury mode, where essentially you're overloading and you're starting to receive like damage. You have your health max is lower and that kind of stuff. But it pairs really well with this build because you can.
Oh, look at that! You can jack in on them if they're like knocked down.
Your health, right? Yeah. So it's one that just happens to. I mean, I can't wait to see all the different builds that the players find and how they mix and match. This is just one way to mix and match like body and tech, and kind of has that fantasy fulfillment. And I have a lot of fun playing that one myself. Oh, and of course, how can I
sprint through 'em.
So another way you can close gaps is you can charge and then you knock people back like bowling pins. And that's a good one for closing gaps. And if you get certain perks, you can. I'm talking too fast, aren't I?
No.
I'm talking too fast.
It's okay.
I get excited.
You get excited.
Yeah. There it goes. That was like a gratuitous throw there.
Dude, I love it when devs are like passionate about games they work on.
But you feel really satisfied if you see an enemy in the distance
It's a good thing.
and you throw and you arc it just right and bam, you splat them. It's so much fun.
So you actually touched already the Edge Runner perk, but what I would like us to clarify that player is not getting cyber psychosis, right?
Correct. Yeah, no, I saw there was some, so pushing the limit and getting into the Fury state, you're not ever going to like lose control
Dude, I
of your
have
character
no
and
idea
start
where the
shooting
fuck this is
civilians
on the
and
map.
Stuff like that, like it's like that's not like.
This
but
is like
if
packed
you
in.
do,
I don't see
get to the
anything
point where you start on
discernible.
your own agency creating mayhem. Definitely, the police, which we'll talk about later, will start labeling you as a cyber psycho because essentially you have the agency and you are behaving that way.
So you can
but you don't lose
role-play.
control of your character. Yes, you can role play it. And you can push that limit, much like David did in the anime, where it's like your health is at a compromise, but you keep pulling it. And we call that the Edge Runner and the Fury limit that you're pushing.
All right. Gasper, do you have your favorite?
For me, definitely going for the crowd control, I call it, my personal favorite.
Yeah.
We saw the yellow hammer, my favorite run so far. You can do really damage. The thing is that, Gabe is geeking about this so much because he's part of designing this. I just geek about this as a gamer because I just love to spend time right now playing it. There's so much more. I just cannot wait to see you guys having fun. Again, my favorite, definitely crowd control with the yellow hammer.
Let's see what chat's saying.
I'm good.
The yellow hammer has some of the abilities like
Dude, he's young. He is pretty built, huh?
Stunning
precisely,
people,
yeah.
which is really satisfying.
Actually, there was one moment where you hit the guy and he just like lose conscious for a second. You can just do whatever with the character. It's so fun. It's so much fun.
All right, so I think we can now summarize what we've just talked. So we have some changes to skills and perks. We have the new tree. And, we've seen a little bit of Somi and, we met her motives behind, contacting V and, it's up to you guys if you want to trust her or not with your life and with everything that's going on. And I think we can move to another segment, which will be about Dogtown itself.
Dogtown, yes.
All right.
So Gabe mentioned a lot of things about Dogtown, but we're gonna get a little bit deeper into that and share some more information. So let's get into the gameplay. And yeah, Kacper, what can you tell us about Dogtown? How does it fit into Night City in general? How is it different?
One of the first questions we asked, we're trying to design Dogtown, was exactly that: how we can make it different yet feel like it's connected to the same city itself, environment. And of course, we had the backstory about the Dogtown being before this dream of very luxury, very rich place on Earth that you can go and have fun and do crazy other things. Yet it never come true because the war happened, right? And people, Militech and other companies, corporations actually, just pulled off out there and just everything stayed there. All the damaged buildings, even all the hardware that we're helping to build those buildings is there. And for us as artists and storytellers, it gave us a lot of tools to create those stories. Meaning, for example, Night City.
It kind of looks like they just got rid of the fencing completely.
I would say, safe place, yet it is.
And it's just kind of seamless,
dreams, right? So we tried to make the contrast there. Where here, it's the
I would have thought it would have been
dystopian
separate world
right?
state.
So we had the tools of showing this decaying world and how it goes, how it's being literally consumed by time, yet people trying to survive there. And that gave us a lot of opportunities because Dogtown itself, as you know, it's part of Pacifica. It's the part that before was closed off because of the whole building structures. Right now, it's open.
I really hope they open the map.
We had those tools. By those tools, I mean we had this idea of making this very dystopian world, and we used the tools like, sorry, I'm trying to make a proper sentence here, I'm sorry. The tools like, because for me as an artist, we had the opportunity to make this use of sand and decaying world, and this makes the whole thing consistent, right? However, yet every single part of the district is a little bit different. We have parts of the district where heavily inspired by Las Vegas, and we have casinos there. And some of them are still open. You can have fun there. Some of them are closed. We have parts where you can explore some old spas and hotels, which are very decaying, let's say, overgrown even. We have a part where you can see, which is a glimpse of hope with, we call it containers, our internal name, let's say. But you can see there people are trying to survive.
Trust me, I know that well.
Like a hope for themselves in this really hopeless place. So I'm trying to build this contrast there. And there are few flavors that I want to talk about right now. I want you to explore this. But
drink?
we really try to make, even if this, let's say, very characteristic district itself, still some flavors to it and different flavors. And I think it's going to be very, very, very much fun for everyone to explore and find those flavors and see the different environments for people to try to survive there, because it's not a pretty and safe place to survive and live in.
So if this is such a dangerous place, who gets to live there? Who decides, oh, I'm going to move to Dogtown?
I don't think it's like anyone woke up one morning and said, I want to change something in my life, and then
this is just a side quest where you just
that's probably
chill,
the best
talk to
place
people.
To go. However, there's a lot of different social layers, I would say, in Dogtown. We can start with all the people that are trying to escape from law, meaning NCPD, and trying to hide there. Maybe even conduct business, which is probably illegal there, but you can do crazy shit in Dogtown, because why not? There, of course, are people that maybe got drawn there because other reasons. There are people that are just living there because maybe they were pushed away by, life is life. In Night City, you have to be able to survive.
The kind of political situation there is very different than Night City. Like the NCPD's not there. As we said, it was the site of the war, and he was a colonel in the war against the Arasaka, so corpos aren't allowed there.
Yo, more drugs!
So as
go!
Casper was saying, it's a place that some people want to or need to flee to. So it creates quite an eclectic mix and group, and it's also a place where things that are illegal in Night City can be done there. And so it all adds to the texture and the story potential and the side quests and stuff like that we have there as you explore.
It also gives us the opportunity to build contrast, because we're always trying to find contrast between layers, visual layers, and social layers. And here it's
If we just get drugged and kidnapped again.
So I think it's very cool.
And we hope at the very beginning when you see that big
that's
gate
cool.
and you know Somi's trying to get you past that gate into there, that we give you that feeling. You hear on the megaphones, and I'm not sure if the audio played there for them, but you hear on the megaphones what Kurt is saying, like, you know,
it's
no
like a
NCPG,
flashback
no
side quest.
corpos,
What
so on
the
and so forth
fuck?
allowed there. And you even have scenes where NCPD is trying to get in, and the bar guest,
that's
his militia,
awesome.
is like back. Wait, am I allowed to curse? Am I allowed to curse? I don't know.
One per stream.
Back the F up. Back the, no, okay. Anyways, yeah, so it just gave so much potential. And I think the other thing that we had a lot of fun with, and as Casper was saying, was just that sort of that feeling of like oppression, like, you know,
I don't know if there's a main quest or a side
zone
quest.
where, you know, people are, you know, they've got stands and they've got some commerce and they've got a life there. There's still those Barghest soldiers that are walking through, just making sure everyone's in order, so you feel that. And of course, the closer you get to the Black Sapphire, to his tower, the more it's sort of like a military encampment.
I would still add to that what you said, is that because you may be made feel like
how his UI
people,
colors are
Barghest,
green.
are there to protect you. It's not entirely the case.
No,
they're trying to protect
that's
themselves.
true. That's true. That's a good point.
But they're trying to maybe just make sure that they're okay, but they don't care about you.
Okay, but let's
circle
back a little bit. Okay, Barghest and Kurt. Who are they? Because Pacifica, we always thought it's like Voodoo Boys mostly. That's their term.
True.
But Dogtown is controlled by Barghest, and the leader of Barghest is Kurt.
It's Kurt.
Right?
Yeah, I think we have to make sure that it's called clear. Dogtown itself still being part of Pacifica in terms of the map, like geography. What's the word here?
Geography.
Yeah. Thank you so much. But it's like as a entity, it's a separate thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to go there. It's almost like a Vatican in Rome. If it's a good example, maybe not. But you know what I mean. Like,
as far as borders go, yes, but otherwise, everything
that's
else,
what I meant.
no.
Yeah. I meant by the borders. But yeah, so when you go in there, it's a different world, and it's run by Kurt, right? And the Kurt is a ex-special force military guy from Militech, and after the war, he started his own army, basically. And all the people, all the army people joined him that also couldn't find their place in the world after the war. And he basically created his own kingdom, let's say, even, right? He runs this place, and whatever he wants, he gets it. And what was the question? I got carried away a bit.
Because you started talking about Barghest without explaining who they are.
So his army, his militia, let's say, is called Barghest, right?
Yeah.
The forces are called Barghest. He's Kurt Hansen running the Barghest, and it's his playground. They do whatever they want to do there. Of course, he's also a businessman, but I don't know how far we can go there.
We can leave it here.
Okay,
people can meet Kurt on their own and find out more about it. In this playthrough, they have seen a peek into Kurt's life, everyday life. But okay, that's it about
I wonder
Kurt.
if it's just like one side quest, or if you actually get like multiple. That's an interesting way of doing an antagonist.
Told us a little bit about her. She gets lost in Dogtown with her Space Force One being destroyed and shot down from the sky, and we meet her. So let's see on the gameplay Rosalind Myers, and can you tell us a little bit more about her?
Yeah, so she is the president, and we get shot down
that's
there,
not
and we
Rosalind
find
Myers.
out that she's someone who can hold her own, but she definitely needs assistance in getting out, and it's just the two of you, and you're trying to kind of find your way and escape, Kurt and his crew who are chasing you. So it's kind of a fun kind of like look around every corner in the first. I'm always hesitant. I don't want to spoil too much, but in the first sort of segment of gameplay, and in this scene here, we're seeing in a hideout, and I'm not sure if the audio is playing or whatever, but they're listening to Kurt, and this kind of goes to the point that you're trying to say. He's he's not just all brute. He's a smart politician, and he's playing a political game here with the propaganda machine, if you will. To say that, this is a ploy. The president isn't really there, so everyone look away while he does what he wants to do. He's like, they're just trying to position Night City to be able to reinvade my place here, and they're trying to take advantage of this, so he's really putting everyone in a difficult situation politically such that he can maintain his power and, of course, keep the president at risk. And you are Yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything more. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, so let's recap. We get contacted by Songbird to help the president. Kurt is the dangerous guy in here. So how does Solomon Reed fit into the picture? What is he doing in Dogtown? I mean, he's our amazing Idris Elba portrayed character.
He's amazing. Yeah.
So was this for me or for Casper?
I don't know how far we can go here.
Okay. We can say who he is. He's a sleeper agent.
Yeah, he's a sleeper agent. Yeah. And he's in Dogtown, right? So we meet him, and he's a big part of the story.
Yes.
He's awesome. I'm really struggling here.
I know. I'm with you. I've been asked this before on some other ones, and I hesitate. But he's got a complicated past with Rosalind Myers, Songbird, but he is such a badass agent that was instrumental in the war that was there previously that they basically have no choice but to kind of call back on him here. And, the kind of drama begins, but at the same time, he's someone who has very much trying in this dark, future, wanting to find purpose in the cause, in Noosa, and that kind of stuff. And so it's complicated, right? Like that's how we like to set it up. We like to cut out the complicated drama.
I mean, the whole, district, Dogtown, everything sounds really complicated, and like. Always with kind of two sides of the coin, right?
The thing is that I feel like the only thing that we should be not spoiling is that we shouldn't put any perspective. Everyone has their own agenda. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's really cool because when you don't know the story, it's really tricky to know
fuck are they
how
drinking?
to behave, let's say, in the situation. And I love this.
Yeah.
And I love this because you're on the edge all the time.
Okay.
And
before we actually move on, we have a question from the Twitch chat.
Oh, all right.
For you, Kacper.
Oh my God.
From Prostame. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. How did you approach navigation around Dogtown and the visual clues?
Okay, that's a great question. It's a very important question as well. So thank you so much for that. We always try to find any landmarks that will make the player understand navigation points. Even if we would be able to take away the map, the mini map, you should be able to find yourself and navigate for Dogtown. The thing is that Dogtown itself, you probably saw it from the trailers, it's like a very U-shaped structure. So it's easy to navigate to see whether or not you are looking at the big buildings or other big buildings, which are very different. When you're going to see it, you can understand it. But also when you go slightly deeper into smaller environments, we always try to put small cues or buildings or even lights, because lights and shapes, they're the best tool to use for navigation.
I wonder if it show the other reworked
let's say
areas
even
of the
deeper
map.
into some parts of the Dogtown. We use things like tools
That,
cables
people who
or
played the
colors,
game saw.
or even things that you can just literally follow to find a path or something. So there's plenty of things that we used across Dogtown, and I really hope it works well. But I'm waiting for the feedback from you guys.
You'll be the judges.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, guys, so before we wrap up this Dogtown segment, I know that our community had a lot of questions about, can we expect a new apartment for V in this district?
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
If they ask the question,
Yes.
Simple answer.
It's awesome.
And it plays
it's
into the main storyline,
yeah.
so not going to say any more than that, other than yes.
Oh, and it's super cool and unique.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And one more, we have so many amazing characters. So we already talked about Somi, Reed, Kurt, Myers. Are there any new romance options in Phantom Liberty for V?
No, there's not.
Casual, no.
There's not. And here's the thing: is we talked about it, and it's okay, this situation in this story, again, without spoiling too much, there was never a moment in which it's okay, let's force romance and sex on you. It just didn't want, it was it would be exploitive. It didn't go with the rhythm of the story we were trying to tell, and so it's not there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think V will be busy with something else.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, thank you guys. So to sum up, we have a new district straight in Pacifica. The district is run by Barghest, whose leader is Kurt Hansen. This is basically a city within Night City with their own laws and law enforcement, etc. In Dogtown, we're gonna meet Kurt Hansen, Rosalind Myers, Solomon Reed, and many, many other characters that we want you to discover for yourself. And now we can go into something that was super highly anticipated by everyone.
Yeah, I think like we've had.
I think it really did just extend like the
questions about it
since the release of the game.
The boundaries of where
we're gonna talk about
the combat zone was supposed to be, like in the base game. Also, I'm kind of far away from the mic.
I know. You know, you guys worked so hard to actually make sure that the police is the police in the city, and I know our community has a lot of questions about how it works. So I think it would be best if we go from the top to the very bottom. We have like amazing gameplay prepared for that, together with showing some of the car combat in there as well. So yeah, maybe let's just jump right into it. All right, so I see we have this new car. I believe it's a new one, if I remember correctly from the gameplay, and it shoots, so it has to be a new one.
Okay, all right. So what, do I just start from the top?
Damn, what the fuck?
Can we talk about why can we shoot from the car?
Awesome. That's why we can shoot. And right now we've got some mounted guns that is shooting from. And if you go into So vehicles, all of them you can use.
The mini map looks new as well.
From it, the vehicles, some vehicles have mounted turrets, of which we're demonstrating there, and then some vehicles have missile racks.
It looks a lot more like clear.
So as far as the vehicle combat goes, those are your options with that. Oh, and there's hacking. You can hack as well from the vehicle and into other vehicles. How awesome does that look? And man, kudos to who recorded this in first person, driving in first person and shooting in first person. But yeah, so, and should I jump into the police system?
Yes, because I think we just made them a bit angry.
With vehicle combat, I should actually back up for a second. So on the bikes, you can also use melee.
Holy shit, did they just do like a Jack's Thunderclap?
And then you can precision shot the gas tanks, which is different on different vehicles as they're different made. So it's one of those fun things that, as you get really good at this, you can really pull off some cool stunts. And you can hit tires with the katana blade. You can shoot tires. And so then the police system, as
I love this vehicle
you get into trouble, one reason or another, you start to gain heat. And when the police show up, at first they're just like, okay, where did the action happen? Where did the crime happen? Or where did we get called for whatever reason and whatever kind of quest or whatever? And I try not to spoil things, but when they show up at the scene, if you're still at the scene, then of course you get into combat, but you might want to go. But if you start to really crank up the heat, then they'll send more people at you. And they have tactics. They try to run you off the road. They try to T-ball. It's so much fun when you're going full speed and suddenly, bam! It's like, we got those moments. It's really cool. So, and then if you really crank up the heat, they start to bring out their own weaponized vehicles. And then of course we're seeing here, and you crank it out even more. Now you got MaxTac.
That's a whole fucking boss.
Yeah.
You have a health bar at the
shows
top.
up. So if you're in a vehicle and MaxTac's trying to get you, you'll see on the screen they're trying to hack your vehicle to stop you. And then if your vehicle gets hacked, then they show up in an AV, or if you're on foot already, and 4 MaxTac come out. There's 5 different archetypes, and it's a random 4 of the 5 different archetypes that come out to fight you. And one of the things is, like, as those of you who know you've played, there's difficulty modes, right? And you put on lower difficulty modes, guys are actually easier. However, with MaxTac,
So they just have like one level hard.
Minimum is hard. Minimum is hard, and there's a minimum level as well. So there is no story mode for MaxTac.
So the moral is don't do crime.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, because the thing is you don't get to this level unless you want it. You really got to push for this level, right, to get it here. And so if you're engaging in that, we want to make sure that MaxTac is an encounter. So what should I go into? I mean, I could talk forever about this stuff. There's just so much.
I don't know. I was playing and I was randomly just driving and was trying to get rid of the police. And the more I tried getting rid of them, the more of them were showing up. So I actually reached MaxTac this way because I just wanted them to leave me alone.
Yeah, I just actually wanted to ask, like, what's the the search loop for the police? Like, can you just I know you can run away from them, but you have to just run and run and run.
That quick
because I
throw
managed
animation
that.
looks a little janky.
But, is it difficult, or at some point they just so there's nobody there. Let's drop the search.
Yeah. So as far as 1, 2,
Also, are those
3
grenades on a
stars,
cooldown?
You maneuver away. It's I mean, we try to strike the balance of the realism, but also the agency of being like, I'm trying to get out of this. And I'm not sure what's shown in this video, but we show you, like, we expand the radar, we show the circles, and we like to, internally, we call it the Pac-Man game. Because, like, if you've got, like, 2, 3, even 4 stars to some extent, you'll see little circles of their cone of visions or whatever. And you can navigate in the roads and avoid them and that kind of thing or whatnot. And then, of course, if you get on foot, it's a little bit easier to lose them. So it should be familiar with that kind of look there. And then, of course, if you go into quest areas and there's a quest you want to pursue, we tone it down appropriately for the quest as well.
Okay. Yeah. Also, I don't know if we can see that here, but I remember when I was playing and I had police on my ass. I actually had the gang members. Yes, that's my one. I had actually gang members, helping me to fight the police. Is that the case as well? Like for most of the gangs, so I was just lucky.
Well, I mean, and I've talked about this in other interviews, but one of the important points is that the player is an agent that does stuff and it affects the world, but we also have other agents in the world, and we've also done a number of different enhancements on that front. You might see like 2 gangs just like chasing each other. You might see cops chasing some gangsters or whatever. It has nothing to do with you. It's happening in the world. The world's alive. Now, you can interfere, and particularly going back to Dogtown, if you see like a caravan doing a weapons transport or whatever, or there's an airdrop or whatever, and Kurt's militia's coming to pick it up, you can intercept, and maybe there's some cool loot to be found there or whatnot. But it's the same thing here. Like if you're into it with the police and there's something else going on with the gang, it could be a mix.
So they can help out, or not?
If you play it right, you gotta be careful where your bullets fly.
Okay. I actually also wanted to go back to the hit system because we have the stars, but
I hope they do have more vehicle combat instead of just running around shooting.
If I shoot someone randomly on the street, do I get already 1 star? 2 stars.
All he really did was
have to run through, like,
shoot like the car's built-in cannons.
Well, so if you commit any crime, you get a star. Like that, any crime. If you run someone over, if you shoot.
Well, like jumping off
someone
bikes and shit. I want to see stuff like that.
You get a star. Now, especially when you get into Dogtown, but also in some other situations, you might get some stars based on quest situations, like things that are happening. And how do you? There's a formula and it's a gradient. So I can't say exactly like, okay, if you kill 3 people, an important point, it varies by district and neighborhood and funding, right? Because part of the cyberpunk world, Night City, in the story, it's socioeconomic. So they care a bit more than others. Always one person, it's a star, it's a crime. But how far do they escalate? Do they send in the big guns? Do they send in
look at that.
It really depends on the funding in the district. And you also hear different, the police have different comments about what district and how much they care, what they're going to do, and that kind of stuff.
Can we maybe tell a bit more about Dogtown police? And
sure.
NCPD go there?
It's Vargas,
police is not allowed there, right? The thing is that there's no NCPD, right? The Vargas are there. And we said, they're trying to keep the district safe, but they're not that much trying to protect you. But still, if you're going to shoot them, they will try to shoot you back. And the same system goes, the more you shoot Vargas, the more you shoot people, the more stars they will have.
They have different units, they have different vehicles.
Can we talk what's going to happen over 5 stars in Dogtown? Or?
Well, it's a little bit of a spoiler. But you already introduced. Yeah, okay, fine. Never mind. At any rate, there's different units, but in Dogtown, MaxTac will show up, because if there's someone that's at that level and it's cyberpsychosis, because you're causing that much mayhem, that's essentially what it is. Again, player agency-wise, it's not like we take over your character and then you're doing a cyberpsychosis thing. Then yes, MaxTac will show up in Dogtown, but otherwise it is the Vargas militia.
All right. Can we defeat MaxTac? I know Sebastian is already killing them.
Someone's doing great jobs surviving such a long time with MaxTac. So.
Yeah. He was trying to show how badass he is. I get it. But no, and the other thing to note is in Badlands, it's Militech. Militech is out there.
All right.
In the Badlands, as far as the units go, with the heat system.
All right. So I think we covered most of the police feature. If you guys have any questions, please drop them on our forums and Discord. So we will try to clarify anything that's unclear, or if you want to know more during the next stream as well, with maybe the same guest or maybe with some
next stream.
We have a cool question from our Twitch chat. So we can run from the police, we can fight with the police.
It probably is a few weeks away.
Can we bribe them?
No, we don't have a bribing.
Took a second there.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just watching. I wanted to see what he did. He did Quake, which was really fun because when you do the slam, it does physics on vehicles, and you get some nice.
But that's props for him for really surviving such a long time. Max tag.
All right, what's the next question?
Okay, so we have a question in general about Phantom Liberty. Does the story take us out of Dogtown at all?
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, exactly.
You're not gonna spoil.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there are parts that you're gonna explore new places in Night City itself, but the majority of the thing it's Dogtown.
That's enough. I think that's enough for people to know.
Right.
And another one: will Dogtown be accessible outside of Phantom Liberty?
So no, to be able to have the full experience of Dogtown, you have to get Phantom Liberty. However, for people that don't get Phantom Liberty, you're going to be able to see Phantom Liberty, Dogtown, from let's say from perspective of someone that cannot get in there. So you're going to see the whole thing. You're going to see the gates. You're going to see people standing, trying to get there, but you will not be able to get because you don't have the access to it.
So you will see the gate.
Exactly. You see the gate. You will see Horizon, the vista itself. It's there. But you will not be able to.
So they actually do overhaul the map. It's not just like the old map.
He's trying to they're shooting past him
just
with
inaccessible.
The mounted weapons, and he's trying to outmaneuver. This is fun. And he's got you see the bar there, the hack. They're trying to hack, and they disabled his car now. And he's trying to run from the
with
the
my
next
favorite weapon here. Look at that.
The bat. All right, what's the next one? What's the next question?
Oh, you like the questions?
Well, I mean, I don't know. What's the next part in the script? Like, where do we go?
I mean, we're gonna go. If you want to talk a little bit more about the car combat, this is perfect place as well.
I can just talk about this from the perspective of the player.
Okay.
Right, which is when I remember you told me at some point like we're gonna get there. I was like, okay, fine, but I had no idea how fun it's gonna be. Because it's really really fun. And from one point of view, being fun is that it also gives so much more fun factor to the whole thing. Right, you can just take your car and even grab havoc over Night City itself. And that combined with police system, trying to get away from them, fight them, it's really awesome gameplay loop, and I really have fun so much with it. So I'm just trying to say that this is just awesome. It's one of the best features I feel like we're introducing here, from my perspective, of course.
No, I mean, that's the goal, is to try to give. And I've said this in other interviews, but the city is beautiful. Right, like in the dark future kind of way, of course. But yes, it's beautiful and it feels so alive, and we wanted to just breathe more life into it. And a way to do that is with kind of systems that complement and manage and meet expectations, rather. Are we going to talk about vehicle gigs or vehicle contracts?
Yes, we have another piece of gameplay later on, so we can.
I'm famous for going out of order.
Because
vehicle gigs
very well to this endless gameplay loop, which is so much fun.
Will they have actual racing AI?
Dogtown and Night City.
We lost all the stars, and
I think we're gonna be safe right now.
He killed everyone. He killed the whole max tech
almost, like there's still the
whole NCPD is dead.
But I guess we can go to the vehicle gigs.
Okay, so what we're gonna show you in a second is our brand new type of missions. So we're gonna have vehicle gigs, which, as Kacper already mentioned, are very well connected with the police system and the car combat, because you basically start getting chased.
Awesome.
So it's very easy to kill someone, and then police gets into it, and so on and so on. So let's start with the next part of the gameplay. And here we find a car, and we will in a second get a call from Muammar Reyes, El Capitan, the fixer that you know from the base game. And there is one thing that we wanted to clarify. It's not Mama Wallace that is going to be selling you guys the cars and dealing with all those missions. It's Muammar Reyes.
I don't think Mama Wallace would be able to sell the car. She can actually sell you a drink if you ask her nicely, but not necessarily a car.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers. All right, so what can you tell us about these quests?
Yeah, so in Dogtown, you'll get this kind of new activity unlocked, vehicle gigs or vehicle contracts. Miramar reaches out and he's like, "Hey, you're in Dogtown. You can help me out with
No way they named a
something
quest after
and,
push
pick up
it
this
to the
vehicle."
limit.
And this is the introductory quest to it, I believe that we're.
It's gonna be
playing
fun
right
looking
here.
through all
When
these
you get
quests,
there, he's gonna
find
be
the
like,
songs.
"Listen, I've got a bunch of different targets throughout Night City and Dogtown. If you can help me with this, then you'll be compensated, and one of the ways he compensates you is by unlocking new types of vehicles, including missile launchers. This is how you get the missile launchers unlocked, is through Miramar. And there's of course, as we like to do at CD Projekt Red, there's a story surrounding this, and it is.
And for me, it was insanely surprised when I first time played it, and it was just proper story to it.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
yeah.
It's just it's just fun. It's really fun.
So and it has to do with Rancho, like his hometown and that kind of stuff. And I don't want to spoil anything, but one of the key features of this is that it is you just see it.
Why is it that now that they're actually
here's
shooting
one of the targets,
guns?
here's one of the targets.
It's in
and
third
it's
person.
Dynamic. And the objectives are dynamic.
I want to see like in the
and
car.
the enemies that come at you are dynamic, and it can be different gangs. It can be Tiger Claws. It can be Voodoo Boys. It can be whoever. And some of the activities are actually hacking another vehicle and getting it. So you've got to ghost a vehicle and be sneaky stealth, right? Some are just all-out combat. Some are about you got to get to a place in time. So it's a very and it's different locations. It's all what's the word I'm looking for? I hesitate to use this, dynamic. I keep using it, but it's
it is dynamic.
It's all over. It's all over the place. But again, you unlock it in Dogtown with Phantom Liberty, but you'll see it throughout Night City at that point.
But it
and
won't
Dogtown.
be in the base game. It's just the
It's
Phantom
not,
Liberty.
this is one of the things in Phantom
Okay.
Liberty. Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned that we can actually unlock some cars with weapons, vehicles with weapons through that quest. But we had people asking us whether they can actually add weapons onto the cars that they already have.
No, it's preset. Though there are some vehicles in the base game that you already purchased or you already got, and we did add weapons to it because it was kind of supposed to be there. So yeah, there's some of that.
Okay, cool. So you mentioned that you can also do
now
the
you got
hacking
cops on
during
too.
car combat.
Yeah.
Do you have to be a netrunner to do that?
You have to be a netrunner. Well, I mean, we've got this open class system, right?
Yeah,
so you can be a hybridized netrunner. You can be a smidge of a netrunner.
You just need some cyber deck.
You need a cyber deck and you need a perk to unlock it. But the better of a netrunner you are, the more different hacks on vehicles you unlock.
So.
And so you can hack the actual vehicles, but you can also hack passengers inside of vehicles.
Ah, okay.
And when you hack the vehicles, some of the vehicle hacks that we have is and this is a fun one in chases, is to make them lose control of their car and steer off and crash, or even force brakes. And of course, one of the really powerful ones are to detonate. You can detonate the car on them. And then probably the most fun one is you can remote control a vehicle. So,
really?
By hacking. Yeah. So you can remote control a vehicle. You're hacking. I got to remember to look at the red camera.
Yes.
Sorry, guys, I'm not so great at that. But yeah, you can remote control it. A sandbox of combat, if you will. Decide if you want to drive it into people and into enemies, not people, enemies. Yeah.
All right, that's super cool. Okay, so we are dropping by the car to El Capitan.
Yeah.
And that's how the story ends, but we're also not gonna show you everything. And if you guys have a tail, so if the police is chasing you or the gangs are chasing you, you need to lose them. So you won't be able to give back the car to El Capitan by then.
Give it to me straight, Cat.
Yeah, and try to not destroy the car, as much as you can, because, he will probably comment on that. Why are you bringing me this ruin? Why, we had a deal, V.
If you want to earn more, yes, definitely. Definitely.
Okay, cool, guys. So we can start finish watching this gameplay, but this is actually the last gameplay part of the stream that we have prepared today. I know that this is not all of the topics that have been mentioned in the new ways to play trailer. We're gonna get back to that in our next stream soon. But let's sum up. We told you about the revamped perks. You actually could see all of the trees that we reworked. They're less perks, but they are more impactful right now. Am I correct?
Yeah, I would say overall, but there is just so many more like actual action perks. So many more like things to do now, like a crazy amount more.
Okay, and this is coming with update 2.0.
The facial
right?
expressions do look a lot
It's not
better.
only Phantom Liberty. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Is this where we talk about that part?
Yes, we can. We summarize everything and we tell people what is coming in the update and what is coming
Look
in
a
the
lot less
expansion.
All right, yeah. So the perk overhaul, all the new ways to play, the new ways that we revamped the Netrunner, the body, the strong solo, the fast solo, the techie, all the different hybrid combinations you guys are going to think of. Yep, that's all in 2.0. The revamp of the police system, the max tech fights, all that is in 2.0.
Then we have the relic skill tree that obviously
That's
Phantom Liberty, Dogtown District, also Phantom Liberty, Reed, Solomon Reed, Songbird, Myers, Kurt, Barghest, also Phantom Liberty. Car combat. Will we see some
That's
car
2.0,
combat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Car combat's 2.0. I mean, because it's like it'd be weird, like, oh, you can only
Yeah.
draw your gun. No, it's the whole game.
But the car geeks are gonna be Phantom Liberty.
They are, yes. Yeah,
Okay. Cool. So I guess these are all the things that we mentioned.
Yeah.
And please keep in mind that the Phantom Liberty expansion is
The game
coming
looks so
on
much more
September
polished
26th on
compared to
PlayStation
like
5,
its
Xbox
current
Series
state
S and
even.
X, as well as PC. And update 2.0 is coming a little
I just
bit
hope it
before that.
isn't
Yeah, so I guess we can move
relegated to
to
just the
the
expansion.
Q&A session.
Yes.
We picked some of the questions from our community that you
I hope
guys
they did a
sent
Passover
over to
of
us during
the game
last few
itself
days.
as well.
And yeah, we can start. So the first question would be by Showstopper. Will Netrunner have a significant change in the expansion?
Yes, they will. So we talked about the vehicle hacks that changed, but one of the kind of like principles that we applied with the Netrunner is we wanted you to do more net running in your gameplay loop, not just like, do a little bit of net running, shoot, do a little bit, but more net running. I did talk about the nanowire and how we incorporated that, but you'll find that the way we use the kind of the resource system and the costs, that it is a much easier to play at the beginning thing, but we still have the mastery levels to it, and we added new kinds of ways
probably a
to
week,
really push
honestly.
your mastery in
Well, no,
playing. For example, you can now queue up multiple hacks on one target, and based on what you queue up,
Didn't they
there's
say like
different
no more
combinations
than a
and things
couple
that
of
can happen.
weeks before?
Yeah.
Or a few weeks?
So, I mean, there's a lot of the familiar hacks you'll see from before, contagion, all the shock, all that stuff, but there's new ways to engage with it. We also incorporated, and I apologize, I'm not going to do all the justice to it, but smart weapons. Like ways that, like smart weapons we feel, and the nanowire, it pairs really well with net running, and so there's like synergies that you can play off of with like kind of regenerating your memory, that kind of stuff. So it has a very different rhythm to it. I mean, maybe that's the best way to put it, a very different rhythm to it, which we hope everyone enjoys.
All right, awesome. So the next question is from Nerm, and it says, I think we touched on it a little bit. Are there different types of vehicle geeks, or are they all the same grabber cars?
They're different, right?
Yeah, well, we talked about it. So, but obviously, vehicle gig, grabbing a car is essential to it, and vehicle combat, right? But then, yeah, the objectives are to get it to a location, to hack an individual, to get there in time, to kill, enemies, whatnot. But yeah, there's a different variety.
Okay, so the next one.
It sounded to me like you basically just said they
Will
were
the level
the
of
same.
friendship that we have with Johnny Silverhand have an impact in the dialogues in Dogtown?
Yes, and also one of the important things to note is that, and I think we said this in another interview, but your experience with Johnny in Dogtown, there's a story arc to it, and he has some different character arc moments he can reach to based on your decisions and what happens and stuff like that, and it is even reflected in some of the dialogue in the base game as well. So we did connect the stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm skipping
That's
into
gonna be
questions because
fucked.
we have already answered
I don't know
those.
whether to do his
but there is a
side
nice
quest
question-
first
nice
or
question
Phantom
that we
Liberty.
touched up on, but we already know why Night City gave up on Pacifica. There was a war, but the rest of the questions is asking, why is it actually called Dogtown?
Vargas, dogs. It's a colloquial term. It's not like an official term.
Of course.
It's like the because of Kurt Hansen, his dog, his Vargas, and so they call it Dogtown. Oh, what? This shirt here.
I don't know.
Whose side are you on?
I don't know.
I think he likes Vargas too much.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, they did an amazing job with.
They do have interesting lives.
Yeah. They did an amazing job with Dogtown, so it makes sense.
So there are no dogs in Dogtown, right?
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, they are, I guess, in a way.
Yeah,
In
if
some
you
way.
count them.
Yeah. All right, so the next question will be by Andrew. How connected is Phantom Liberty to the rest of the story? Is it just a side story?
It is that's a difficult, it is its own contained story, but it is integrated in that it has all to do with V, it's like V's situation is a big part of that story. So it's integrated in that way. But it is, you can play it by itself if you want to, or you can play it in an integrated way, as I think we touched
play
on.
it by itself.
We did.
Okay, so the next question is from Vergener. How post-apocalyptic will the
Looks like I will be making a
expansion
Phantom
be?
Liberty
Will there
movie.
be heavily overgrown locations, and how much of the post-apocalyptic surroundings will be felt in the expansion?
So as we briefly touched upon
Yes.
that, we try to make this dystopian world feel like it's almost post-apocalyptic. And yes, they're going to be overgrown places. They're going to be places which are deserted. They're going to be places which are almost falling apart. And that's what makes Dogtown a bit different. And that's also what makes the contrast, that people are trying to survive there, yet it's a very, very harsh environment. So very post-apocalyptic, and I hope it fits the whole vibe of the thing.
Yeah, it does. So next one.
All right, so that would be
Give
the
me
last.
more.
The last
More?
I mean, come on, guys. You can drop us still the questions in the chat. We still have a few minutes. But yeah, for now.
I love his enthusiasm,
The
man.
last one.
Will the current level limit will be
Oh, that's an important
up,
one.
down?
Yeah. So with Phantom Liberty, you get the level plus 10, 60.
So
Yes.
no 70.
No, not 70, 60.
60.
60 level cap, yep.
What about the street cred?
New weapons, new cyberware. We didn't talk about it. I guess that's next stream, sorry. Okay. Like I said, I go out
Cyberware,
of
yeah,
order
we're
with
gonna
stuff.
talk about it.
Yeah, cyberware will be the next stream.
All right, sorry. Sorry, what was your
What
question?
about the street cred?
Can
Will the
it
level
raise?
of the street cred will be
Yeah,
up?
no, that
Okay.
actually, yeah.
So just the level, okay.
Yep. But you have new, with Mr. Hands, which we showed in the trailer, I'm not spoiling anything there, you can now fill that up, and there's new stuff to be had there. And he's quite integrated with the story as well, which is a fun thing that we did.
Mr. Hans.
Mr. Hans.
Yeah, Mr. Hans, yes.
All right, so guys, thank you for answering those questions. If we get
That looks
some
like
more,
it.
we might try to fit them in, but we're getting closer and closer to the end of the stream. So I'm gonna sum up everything for you once again, and there is gonna be another stream in a couple of weeks where we're gonna deep dive in some other topics that have been also mentioned in the New Ways to Play video. For now,
That might be the launch
talked about the revamped perks and skills. We showed you for the first time the full relic skill tree. We also went deeper into the Dogtown and showed you, you were able to meet some of the characters from the expansion. So we showed you Kurt, Rosalind Myers, Songbird, Solomon Reed, etc. Then we also talked about the upgraded police system, which is completely crazy right now. You can actually see that on the screen right now, how crazy that is. And we also discussed the brand new type of missions for you, which is vehicle geeks, as well as all of the loop with car chases and vehicular combat. There will be more stuff that we will discuss next
There's
time.
all the pedestrian
but for now,
traffic.
that's it.
Yeah, and briefly what Alicia mentioned, in the next stream, in a few weeks, we'll be talking about the cyberware changes, the armor changes, UI, combat changes. And, we will try to address a lot more questions from you guys. If you have anything specific that you would like to know and we didn't cover it today about, Phantom Liberty or 2.0, as always, leave them during the stream on Twitch chat and on our forum and Discord channels. And remember, Phantom Liberty is coming very, very soon, September 26th, on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, as well as PC. And the patch 2.0 will also come to those platforms a few days, weeks, who knows, earlier. So it will be a bit before.
Important thing, update 2.0 is not coming to last gen consoles, so PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
And you can also play Phantom Liberty on GeForce Now. And we also would like to highlight the newly announced NVIDIA DLSS 3.5, featuring reconstructions for all Cyberpunk 2077 and Phantom Liberty.
That's incredible. Sorry.
For you.
No, go ahead. Beautiful. I was about to say that. I was seeing on the monitor at the convention, and I was like, okay, so this is a new loading screen we've got there, and then I hit, and I was, no, it's not. It was actually the game. It just looked like a flash.
Yeah, I was flashing
technology.
Kuba, who's working with NVIDIA, because he's next to my desk. He's always like, "Come over, look at this." I'm like, "It's a movie. What you telling me next?" No, it's our game. I'm like, Jesus, it's incredible. Unbelievable. Yeah. When we saw the update, I was like, you have to check this out. Really. I'm worthless right now.
I think that's it then.
So
new music closing out.
Our streamers on Twitch. If you are a content creator who stream on Twitch, make sure to watch out for our social channels because we're gonna have a very cool thing for you very soon. So coming soon. And I'm afraid that we need. No. I'm afraid that we need to finish, but do you have any last words for our players, for our community?
Thanks for attending, and we can't wait to get it in y'all's hands. And just thank you so much for the support and sticking there, and we're amped. We're amped and believing in us.
Yeah, because it was a hard time, but Phantom is really gonna be awesome. I really hope everyone's gonna enjoy that as much as we did doing it, and it was a ride.
So soon.
It was a ride. Yeah.
Awesome! Thank you, Kacper. Thank you, Gabe,
so
for joining us. We're gonna have more information coming soon, but I hope you learned a lot from this stream and enjoyed it. So thank you very much.
I didn't really. I mean, it looked good. Oh, no music. Damn, this is just like. Oh, there it is. New music. I've noticed kind of a consistent theme across the Dogtown music. Like these weird, those weird crying synths. Okay, those crying synths may have just been women, but it sounds really good. All right. Well. So yeah, it probably will be a week or two before Phantom Liberty's launch. I'd say actually probably like a week after they do the next stream. But, yeah, we got some new information. Sort of. I'd like to look back at this stream. And, I am gonna have to go here in a bit, but I'd like to look at, just some of these, more, landscape shots. Kind of get a better look at the environment. I don't know if they upload any of this to YouTube. I don't think so. Oh. I guess I could just look back at the VOD. Listen, I'm not... It's been a few years since I've really used Twitch, and I'd like to keep it that way. But, okay, we've seen this. What is this book here? That's a question I feel should be answered. This is heading towards Pacifica. That's the stadium right there. Got these like giant, yeah, the walls are much more pronounced. Got watchtowers and shit. Very cool. So this is, where exactly is this? This is near, Santo Domingo, because you saw the, like, Edge Runners Mega Tower. That's going to be towards the Biotechnica fields. So there's just a road into Dogtown from Santo Domingo. Okay. And then you get your cutscene. Excuse me. What book's she reading though?
Damage, you have you know, your health max is lower, and that
Where,
kind of
where
stuff.
was that actually?
But it pairs really well with this build because you can keep getting adrenaline and regaining.
I was
your
on
health,
it,
right?
and then I
So it's
lost
one that
it.
just happens to, I mean,
It's after this,
can't
isn't
wait
it?
to see all the different builds that the
Get
players
more
find.
story stuff.
Explore and find those. The tools like.
This is a side quest, which is really cool. So, at least one of the side quests is going to be a flashback where you basically play as the antagonist, and you're kind of hearing stories from the people at Dogtown. That's a very cool concept. I like that. There's a lot of storytelling potential there. At the same time, it is kind of lazy as a means of like introducing a character, but it works.
More information. So let's get into the gameplay.
Where'd that book at?
Ask. We're trying.
Am I too far ahead?
Almost exactly that. Whether how we can make it.
I might be.
Feel like it's connected to the same city itself.
Back if you want to. It's after the.
Does this gameplay not start out?
Back if you want to skip ahead in character creation. There's a player coming to the game line after you finish that.
What dialogue choices do we have here?
Quest essentially.
There's a corpo check.
Now, as a player coming to the game for the first time, or even when you're coming back, if you want a journal telling you what you need to line and back.
I really hope they
yes, Songbird will hit you up.
actually
and say, I got something
have more
for you.
substance
And then you can
than just, I used to be part of the backers.
From she's doing.
Or, Arasaka kicked me out.
Somewhat related.
Now I don't like them.
What if someone already finished the game?
So if you finish.
What am I doing here?
Gate.
I'm trying to remember where this started. I'm not very good with this. Twitch isn't very, actually, you know what? No, Twitch isn't very good with their preview slider.
Enemies on
our players to see. And yeah, you know, I also wanted to ask.
Right, there's this comes back.
It might have been right before the shootout, actually.
Getting into you
maybe
the strength you can. There's this adrenaline thing. We catching it the more.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm completely
And
fucking lost
there's
here.
a sniper in the distance. You can pick up a ball.
This looks really cool. So these actually look like the rocks that are currently in the game. It looks like they're gonna have like buildings populating them and shit. It's gonna be a lot more fleshed out. They're gonna, it looks like, just expand the borders of where it currently is. Oh, it's here. Right? No, we just saw this. I'm tripping. No, it might be actually. See what I mean? Like the preview pushes me like 2 minutes ahead of where I actually think it starts.
But we're gonna get a little bit deeper into that and share some more information. So let's get into the gameplay.
What book is that? God damn it.
And yeah, Kacper, what can you tell us about
this
Dokkan?
sucks.
How does it fit into Night City in general? How is
Don't care about you.
Okay, but let's
Right, yeah.
Circle is controlled by Barghest and the
If it's a good guy, he's playing.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care about anything else at this point. I'm finding this book.
And we find
down from the sky and her. So let's see on the gameplay.
I don't think it's here. I think we've passed it.
Can you tell us a little bit more about her?
In fact, I think it is in the very first clip we saw. Which is interesting, because I just went to that
Show you
and didn't see it.
finish the
it's after.
Can, if we can.
Oh my god.
So
Okay. Is this a real book?
One of the questions that we often
It's blurry.
see.
Kim. Oh, by Rudyard Kipling. Is that a real book? I've never heard of that. It is. Okay. So what's the gist? What's the thematic significance? The novel is notable for its detailed portrait of the people, culture, and varied regions of Africa. Or India. Not Africa. Not quite. Let me pull this up real quick. It's set after the Second Afghan War. Kim is the orphan son of an Irish soldier. And a poor Irish mother who had both died in poverty, living a vagabond existence in India under British rule in the late 19th century. Kim befriends an aged Tibetan Lama who is on a quest to free himself from the Wheel of Things by finding the legendary River of Arrow. Oh god, the like magenta conspiracy people are going to be tearing this apart. His father's regimental chaplain identifies Kim by his Masonic certificate, which he wears around his neck. And Kim is forcibly separated from the Lama. Is this Johnny Silverhand, the Tibetan Lama? Kim is V, who becomes his disciple. He incidentally learns about parts of the Great Game and is recruited to carry a message to the head of British intelligence. His trip with the Lama along the Grand Trunk Road is the first great adventure of the novel. Or it could be the Lama is a songbird. Kim's father's regimental chaplain identifies Kim by his Masonic certificate, right? Probably the bullet necklace. And he's forcibly separated from the Lama. He insists that he should comply. Oh. Oh. His eagerness to become a secret agent. This makes a lot more sense now. And even have a price put on his head and his natural independence as a free spirit. This lines up with Phantom Liberty. He remains in contact with the holy man he has come to love. Songbird? Kim also retains contact with his Secret Service connections and is trained in espionage while on vacation from school. by Lurgan Sahib, a sort of benevolent Fajin? Okay. As part of his training. So I guess we're kind of, would this, if we're drawing parallels, would this take place after Cyberpunk, and the idea is that V is given the chance at freedom and becomes like a secret service agent? Or is it that this is still like drawing parallels to Phantom Liberty's story? Kim's game is an exercise played by Boy Scouts. Okay, just a memory game. After 3 years of schooling, Kim is given a government appointment so that he can begin to participate in the great game. Before this appointment, he is granted a much-deserved break. He rejoins the llama at the behest of Kim's superior to make a trip to the Himalayas so Kim can investigate what the intelligence agents are doing. Is not revealed what happens to them next. That sounds very cyberpunk. I wouldn't be surprised if it's left on a cliffhanger too. Maybe... It's honestly hard to say if the llama is Johnny or Kim. On a spiritual journey. Cool. Yeah, I can see them. Like, I knew that they were trying to ascribe like some meaning to this book, because they did it with Ernest Hemingway for Whom the Bell Tolls, right? That was the book that Jackie reads at, or that V reads at Jackie's sermon, which essentially lays out like Jackie's entire character arc. Because that's how you do character arcs, right? Is you kill the character off and then you then you go into depth about their core character motivation. But yeah. Very cool.
On our socials.
It's not like the
What is that cutscene a part of? Because that is like a cutscene.
drink a Red Bull and think for yourselves.
We're gonna have to wait on this. Yeah, I wonder if it's like part of the story. It might just be there as an introduction to the recorded gameplay. It's hard to tell. Someone's gonna need to update this. Kim dreams of a Red Bull in a green field. I wouldn't be surprised if this book like helped inspire the writing of Phantom Liberty, which is kind of why they have it. Yeah, when V gets a call from Songbird, but like, is this the first time they talk or meet or whatever?
So yeah, one of.
Are you fucking kidding me? I want to read the page of the book. Because I can actually trust these developers to like try and like ascribe meaning to these things. I want to dissect it. Maybe Johnny's the father, so to speak. I don't know. I haven't read the book. Oh, fuck. If it plays an ad, I'm done. I ain't messing around.
If we can. So
Okay. No. Still bad bitrate. Yeah, I'd have to actually read this book to make out anything from this. What that means. There it is. That's fucked up, man. Just ad bombing me. Okay. Well, I guess there is one more thing I can check out real quick. Check their website. Or not website. Why did I say website? Check out their YouTube channel. Nothing there. There's an IGN gameplay overview. Does this show anything? I think this is actually new gameplay. Oh, this is the B-roll footage. No. This is actually new footage. There's not much of it. Okay, it's a mix of like new and old B-roll. Okay, yeah. I don't know that there's really much I can get from that. I was wanting to actually check out though, because I got this in my like subscription box right before I went live. There's a new No Man's Sky update. What does this mean? We'll see what this is all about real quick before we end this.
Zaxby's now has funnel cakes, so you can have your cake.
Listen, there could be worse ads, right? Zaxby's is pretty fucking good. New alien race. These trailers are always really well done. What's the meaning of that? 666 silos? New story? Oh, this is one of them big ass like expansion updates, isn't it? Expedition Space Combat Depth. 2 freighters fighting each other? That's sweet. Cool. Pirate faction. Alright. Just more No Man's Sky. This game will never quit being made better. Maybe it will. They didn't say our journey continues. They usually do that with their trailers. Okay, well, I think that's about it for today. I'm gonna hop off now. I got stuff to do. We will be back, hopefully still on Saturday with The Wolf Among Us. I've been very preoccupied, so I'll need to kick it in high gear and get that done for Saturday. I won't be able to get a trailer. I just won't. But I will still try and get it out on Saturday. But we'll be back hopefully during the next Red stream, if not before then. See if anything piques our interest before then. That's gonna be it. Thank you everyone who stopped by, who checked out what I was checking out. I didn't really have much to say, unfortunately. Hopefully next time that'll change. It just looked like a better game. That's all most people were hoping for, and I'm completely fine with them doing that. But that's gonna be it. We're ending the stream now.